British government has been, unfortunately, has been extremely critical of Israel, so as much as even imposing partial arms embargo and sanctioning elected Israeli government ministers, as well as speaking out against some of the actions that Israel's taking, which are perfectly legitimate. And all it does, actually, I would tell the British government, what their actions do, they don't have a really direct impact on Israel's war. But what they do is that they add fuel to the fire of Jew hate in the UK. The government has a responsibility to protect the Jews in its country, and it's failing in that responsibility by saying things that are inaccurate, by making accusations that are not based on fact, and that spreads the Jew hate. And I also would say they should be supporting Israel. Israel's done so much for the UK. Israel's provided not only technology, intelligence, support for the military. They've done so much, in my personal experience, to make Britain safer and to save the lives of British people. We should repay that. And it's not only in their interests that we repay it, it's also in our own interests, because Iran, for example, and the Iranian proxies, they represent not just a threat to Israel and the Middle East, but directly to the UK as well. The UK sent its air force into the skies to help defend Israel last year when it came under attack from Iran. Unfortunately, it's failed to do the same in the most recent war with Israel. It's failed to join Israel in trying to defeat the nuclear threat from Iran, which is also a nuclear threat to the United Kingdom in the future. It has an obligation to do that, yet it's failed in its obligation. And that is something that endangers, not just endangers Israel, it endangers the Middle East, it endangers the people of the UK as well. The UK, unfortunately, has shown too much weakness in the face of Jew hate on our streets. There are protests every week, pretty much. There are huge numbers of protests on university campuses and other places, and the UK allows it to happen. There's a difference between free speech and hate speech. There's a difference between people expressing their views and actually bringing down fear onto the Jewish people. And I know many Jewish people who have left Britain because of this, or may be leaving, or considering leaving. And it's really important that the government puts a stop to it. Unfortunately, there's no indication it will do so. And so I think the supporters of CUFI in the UK and other people who want to stand up for Israel should also make their voices heard. The majority of people in the UK support Israel, but unfortunately they're the silent majority. The minority of Hamas-supporting rabble-rousers make all the noise, and that, of course, affects not only the Jewish people who it incurs fear into, but also it affects the government. The government is clearly focused on the next election, although it's not for a few years. They need to know as well that their voters won't stand for them allowing this Jew hate on our streets and this anti-Israel sentiment on our streets. They need to know that. They need to hear the voice of the silent majority. It needs to actually speak out. And I think the supporters of CUFI and the supporters of other pro-Israel organizations in the UK can do a great deal about that.